Hi everybody, welcome to Tech Growth Stocks channel. Today I present you a new episode. Specifically, I will give you 5 tech IPO stocks with very strong growth and good momentum. And these stocks are in the tech space and they are so young companies with excellent future potential. So I think it definitely pays to watch this video until the end and have a look with me at all of these nice stocks. So before I start right off with the first tech IPO stock, I have to make a short disclaimer. This video does not constitute financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only, so please consider that. And also one more quick note, please subscribe now to my channel with a link in the description below so that going forward you do not miss any market leading stocks from me. So please subscribe now. Okay, so that was it for the intro. So let's start right off with the first tech IPO stock for 2021. And it is GRWG, Growth Generation. Here you can see the longer term chart of Growth Generation. And as you can see, Growth Generation was an IPO in November 2016. So it's just, it's around a little bit older than 5 years. So it's in the first 10, its first 10 years after its IPO. And why is that important? Because 95% of its super performance stocks have their strongest moves in their first 10 years after their IPOs. So it definitely pays if you watch out for these young companies. And if you find a good one, breaking out, having an uptrend, having strong growth characteristics, could definitely make sense to focus on that stock and take a position. So after its IPO, Growth Generation, from the nice IPO base here, it broke out and had a short-term, well, a very short, strong upside move. And after that, it reversed and had a long time base building phase or sideways moving phase until, let's say, around June 2020, and then we build a high handle, and around, let's say, July 2020 we could break out from that sideways moving phase and form a nice and very strong uptrend. The short-term chart, you see that uptrend, and here you see, for instance, we had a period of pause, which is a base, and in that uptrend we broke out of that base of that period of pause and traded strongly to the upside in Growth Generation. Growth Generation's growth characteristics are very good. The EPS growth is very strong with 104%. The sales growth is also very strong with 138%. And the relative strength rating is very good with 98. So I think Growth Generation is definitely a very strong tech IPO stock for 2021. Okay, so that was it for Growth Generation. Now let's have a look at the next strong tech IPO stock for 2021. And as you can see, it is Fbr Fiber International. Here you can see the longer term chart of Fiber International, and Fiber International has been a recent IPO in June 2019. After its IPO, it formed a nice IPO base here, and it could break out from that IPO base around April 2020, form a nice and very strong uptrend. The short-term chart, you see that uptrend, and you see as well, here we had a short-term base building phase, a period of pause in the uptrend here as well, and here as well, and recently of that period of pause we broke out, traded strongly to the upside in Fiber. Fiber's growth characteristic, the EPS growth is not the strongest, it's minus 98%, but the sales growth is very strong with 85%, and the relative strength rating is also very good with 98. And Fiber is in a hot sector in the interactive media and communication services space. So I think Fiber is definitely a strong tech IPO stock for 2021. Okay, so that was it for Fiber. Now let's have a look at the next tech IPO stock. And it is TWST, Twst Bioscience. Here you can see the longer term chart of Twst Bioscience, and as you can see, Twst has been an IPO in October 2018, so also a quite young company. After its IPO, it formed a nice IPO base here, and it could break out of that IPO base or period of pause around May 2020, form a nice and very strong uptrend since then. In the short-term chart, you see that uptrend, and as you can see, do you see these bounces of the moving averages? We bounce off the 50-day here, we bounce off the 50-day here, we bounce off the 30-day here, we bounce off the, or this 20-day here, we bounce off the 30-day here. So these moving averages have been quite nice support lines for Twst Bioscience, and recently, yeah, we traded here. We reversed in Twst Bioscience, bounce of the 30-day moving average, and traded strongly to the upside after the bounce. So from a technical standpoint, I think Twst Bioscience is definitely looking very strong here. And when we consider the growth characteristics, the EPS growth is not the strongest, it's minus 35%. But the sales growth is very strong with 81%. And the relative strength rating is also very good with 98. So I think Twst Bioscience is definitely a strong tech IPO stock for 2021. Okay, so that was it for Twst. Now let's have a look at the next tech IPO stock for 2021. And it is Mrna Moderna. Here you can see the longer term chart of Moderna, and as you can see, Moderna was a quite recent IPO in December 2018. After its IPO, it formed a nice IPO base here. It could break out of that IPO base in March 2020, form a nice and very strong uptrend. Short-term chart, you see a base building phase here, which lasted from, let's say, around July 2020 until November 11th. And also, yeah, if you followed my channel for quite some time, I covered Moderna when we are trading around the 75 and 77 area in Moderna. And I had it also in the stocks, in the tech momentum stock strategy. A link is in the description below where you can see my strategy performances. And I was, and yeah, I traded it in that strategy, and I'm up heavily in Moderna with that, in that strategy with Moderna. And yeah, so we broke out here in November 11th, traded strongly to the upside, and yeah, and then we came back. I mean, we traded to 177, so that was a quite strong move, more than 100%, 120, 130% in just a couple of days. And then we reversed, we came back, and now looks like we are bouncing. We could bounce off the 50-day here, or we just bounced off the 50-day. I mean, I think if we would trade around here for some time, and then I think we could reverse to the upside strongly again. And so I think Moderna is at the moment a very interesting stock, and I think it will have great profits this year, very strong profits with its corona vaccines, and I think that will mark the future for that stock. And I think it can bank strongly on its mRNA technology going forward, especially when they will have so much cash which they can use for investments, which they what they will make with that corona vaccines. So I think the future is excellent for Moderna. And yeah, so Moderna is a hot biotech stock, and it has very strong momentum characteristics, and the growth, when we look at the growth characteristics, yeah, Moderna, the EPS growth is not the strongest, it's 18%, but the sales growth is very strong with 617%, and the relative strength rating is also very good with 97%. So I think Moderna is definitely a strong tech IPO stock for 2021. Okay, so that was it for Moderna. Now we come to the last tech IPO stock for 2021 for today, and it is FTCH, Farfetch. Here you can see the longer term chart of Farfetch, and as you can see, Farfetch has been an IPO in September 2018. After its IPO, it formed a nice IPO base here, and it could not break down. No, it could not break out. No, it broke down after that IPO base. And that can happen as well. The stocks can break out to the upside, or they could break out to the downside. So IPO stocks are also risky in some sense. This you need to know. And yeah, it broke down, but it found a bottom. And last year in March, we made the lows in Farfetch. We reversed from these lows, traded to the upside, and formed a very strong uptrend in Farfetch. The short-term chart, you see that uptrend here, and you see as well from around August 2020 until, let's say, November 2, 2020, we built a base here, and November 2, we could break out of that base and trade strongly to the upside in Farfetch. And recently we are coming back a little bit from these highs here, and I think soon we could see a bounce maybe of the 40-day or around the 50-day. I think that could happen in Farfetch. Farfetch's growth characteristics are very good. The EPS growth is very strong with 405%. The sales growth is also very good with 73%. And the relative strength rating is also very good with 96. And Farfetch is in the retail space. And I think Farfetch is a strong tech IPO stock for 2021. Okay, so these were the tech IPO stocks for 2021. I hope in that video are some nice IPO stocks for you, which you can use for your research. And also, please subscribe now to my channel with the link in the description below, so that going forward you do not miss any market leading stocks and IPO stocks from me. So please subscribe now. So thank you for watching that video. I had fun making it, and I hope to see you again in the future. And I wish you good luck for 2021 in trading. And I think it will be an excellent year with all that fiscal and monetary stimulus going on from the central banks and from the government. I think that will propel stock prices from high to high. And I think that will be an extraordinary year or to come. Okay, so cheers.